Peace. This is a meat and potato sorcery production starring myself, the Water Alchemist, and today a conversation and channel with the artist known as Prince. So, for all the Prince fans, I really want you to take this video in. And for those who aren't, hopefully you get another perspective of Prince Rogers Nelson, born in 1958. A couple days ago, I was, for some reason, and it was unexplainable to me, I was binge watching interviews with Prince that involved him, whether it be Tavis Smiley or Arsenio, etc. I didn't know why all of a sudden I had this compulsion to watch these videos because as an artist, I always respected Prince. He was a genius. This is undeniable. But I was always a Michael Jackson and a Jackson fan, as well as someone that was into hip hop. But all of a sudden, 2 days ago, I found myself binge watching interviews with him. And one thing, when you are an occultist, you always have to have a element of skepticism. Maybe you just doing something because you're bored or whatever. And my thing is, I live by the mantle of testing spirits. You don't want to make something out of what is not to be. So, watching all these videos, what happens 2 days later? I go to a gas station to fill up. I'm hearing Darling Nikki. So I had to use my abilities to channel, and as well as my pendulum. And for the occult family, if you're trying to develop your third eye and your psychic senses, please get a pendulum. So I had channeled with Prince, and true to form, Prince he's to the point. He's very direct. And I said, Prince, it wasn't no coincidence that I was watching these videos, these interviews that you were doing. He was like, no. And I said, okay, would you like for me to communicate a message to the fans? Because you are loved. You are very loved and very respected. He was like, yeah, actually I do. And I said, I know about your death and what happened and how much pain you were in physically. And he was like, yeah, I was in pain, but it wasn't just the so-called drugs that he were ingesting. He said, no, it wasn't just that. I said, oh, okay. So what was it? And this is where it comes in. I said, did you feel that you were, someone used dark magic on you or you were hexed? He said, that's exactly what happened. And I'm like, okay. And that was the message that Prince wanted to send. It didn't have anything to do so much with some so-called Illuminati. And while, his, the pharmaceutical drugs and him being in pain, that may have harmed his physical body, but Prince was a victim in even on the other side, he feels that he was a victim of somebody hexing him and cursing him. This is how Prince feels. And I said, okay, Prince, I'm going to do this, for your fans and all that. And I said, I don't want people to just take this and be like, this is being made up, etc. And I said, well, is there any way that you will help me and this? And he was like, yeah. And I said, okay. And as soon as the channel was gone, somebody helped me with abundance. It was less than 10 seconds. So, Prince, I want to say you were loved, you were straight to the point, and whatever fences that you were trying to mend. You have my utmost respect for that. I've always, as I said earlier, even I wasn't a fan in the beginning, but I always respected you. You are a musical genius. And I thank you for wanting to come forth and you wanted to just clear the air on certain things. Prince felt that he was a victim of lower or dark magic and he was hexed. So let's just cut out the nonsense. And I really wanted to communicate with that. So my hats off, kudos to Prince. So with that, that is your meat and potato sorcery for the day. The Water Alchemist with the occult dinner. Peace.